Intelligent Ramblings with your host, Bill Lofton. Co-hosted by Gary Glenn and William Howington with help from John Cole.
Good evening and welcome to Intelligent Ramblings. We're intelligent rambling all over the place. I tell you what, I really don't care that much. I mean, I care, but I don't care that much about what happened in the college football world this past weekend, except the fact that Georgia looked like the University of Georgia when they played Tennessee this past Saturday. I could not have felt any better. I could have not enjoyed myself any better. I could not have enjoyed my Sunday any better, or my Monday, or my Tuesday, or today any better than I have, because the University of Georgia came back and whipped Tennessee 44-41 in overtime, much to the dismay of all those Pat McAfee idiots on ESPN who predicted Georgia to lose and did his little sing and everything. I wish I could put that on. I mean, I actually made a really nice video of the Georgia-Tennessee game where I highlighted the University of Georgia doing all the great passes that our quarterback threw, and the great receptions of receivers, and the great runs our runners made. And it wasn't real long. It was only about a minute long. And then I got to looking. I thought I could use it under fair use, but I got a feeling ESPN my doorbell could be ringing pretty quick if I was to put that up. And a bunch of people, I started going through all the highlight things on YouTube, and I noticed that the only ones that had highlights were ESPN, CBS, ABC. No individual artist had any highlights of the Georgia-Tennessee game. And then I started looking at other schools, and it was the same way. And I was like, holy crap. And I decided, I had put the video up and to several different platforms, and I went, oh, ESP Live's come knocking, because they probably already know how I feel about them. But I went directly and took them all down on every platform, YouTube, Facebook, any of the Instagram, any of the others. I took it all down because we don't need that. But if you want to look in my videos, williamlofton.com, the video's there. It's used as instructional purposes. The reason I have it in there, and it's an instructional of all the videos that I've made on williamlofton.com. Anyway, sorry about that rant, guys, but I really felt really good about the way Georgia played. We saw their running game. We saw a passing game. Oh, Gunner cannot throw the ball long. Didn't we hear that shit all week? All week? Anybody? Everybody?
He hasn't thrown it. He didn't throw it long until Tennessee.
Yeah.
That was the major conversation all week, was he can't throw the ball long. What are they going to do? Well, we got that satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
At fourth and 26? Had to get a first down to stay in the game, and he sunk it like it was probably one of the best passes I've seen thrown in college football in a long time. It was perfect.
Well, they were good. You give the receiver some credit. They did a hell of a job pulling it in and keeping his feet in bounds.
Oh, Landon Humphrey, he just put his arms out and did like that, and it just went right there, and he just slid in like he's coming in for a home run.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
Any other games of consequence, do you guys?
Well,
William, are you alive up there? We see you
Well,
moving every once in a while. It's the only reason I know.
Well, you know, Georgia Tech again.
the yellow people down in Atlanta. Well, you know, to say it's been a disappointing season for me with Clemson would be an understatement. For a team that goes in the top 5 in the beginning of the season and should have been ranked there because they got the athletes, they got the right players to be where they are right now, 1-2, and not ranked at all.
Another game was Texas A&M and Notre Dame.
Yeah.
We all had Notre Dame to win, except for William, who called it for Texas A&M, and that was a good football game. I don't think Notre Dame thinks it was, but Texas A&M sure does.
Well, Notre Dame's one of those teams that could win out. It would not surprise me at all to see Notre Dame win out, and it wouldn't surprise me to see Clemson win out. I don't know what's got to spark Clemson, but I'll talk about them in a little while because I got their game on the Syracuse game coming up.
Is it the old criticism of Clemson that they are only going to do as well as Cade Klubnik does? Is that even valid, or do you think that's what it is?
You know, Cade has not had his best 3 outings, to say the least. I will delve into that as well. Anyway, why don't we take a quick commercial and we'll come back and predict some games.
Great.
Be right back.
Intelligent Ramblings is brought to you in part by Pat Williamson, a proud Dragon alumnus and a strong supporter of Jefferson athletics and academics.
All right, here we are. Intelligent Ramblings, or Intelligent College Football, I might say. And September 17th through the 21st, 2025. That's what we're going to cover. Wow. This is kind of monkeyed up. Maryland at Wisconsin.
I guess that one belongs to me. Now, this is an interesting game here, guys. Luke Fickell, the coach of Wisconsin, Mike Locksley, the coach of Maryland, Wisconsin, is coming into this one with a win over Miami of Ohio and Middle Tennessee. Miami of Ohio was a shutout. Middle Tennessee was a spanking, 42-10. Then they lost to Alabama 38-14. We got a good quarterback. His name is Danny O'Neal. He's got 520 yards and 5 touchdowns in those 3 games. Running back Dylan Jones is a pretty good one. Maryland is 3-0. They beat Towson 44-17. Northern Illinois 20-9, and Florida Atlantic 39-7. So Maryland really hasn't played much of anybody yet. They are undefeated, though. Their quarterback is Malik Washington, who was very, very highly touted coming into that one. Rothwell Perry is a transfer offensive tackle. He's a good one anchoring the offensive line. And then their running backs, Juwan Williams and Darren Fleming. Fleming, a transfer from Georgia State. And they've got another one, Nolan Ryan, by the name of Nolan Ryan, is one of the running backs. So this is an interesting game here, and it could go either way. I think in this one, I am going to go with the Badgers. They're the home team, and that's really the only reason I'm picking.
Well, I have to say I agree with. I pick Maryland in this one.
Well, a lot of people are, but Wisconsin would be a slight upset depending on what the odds makers have said. So obviously they're not going to, cover the spread there because they're the underdog in this one. But again, I think Wisconsin has got a good defense. They seem to play well in some of the big games. They've been pretty good over the years. They haven't been great but they've been pretty good in a lot of ways, and I think they're going to be enough for Maryland in this one. But again, this is sort of one of those games that could, like I said, go either way. I think momentum is going to play a big role in this particular game. Who gets on top first and gets old Mo on their side could wind up winning it. But I'm going with the Badgers mainly because they're the home team.
Okay. There we go. Add a slight graphical area. Here, I'll fix that. Okay. But what about the spread,
That's it.
Gary?
Well, Wisconsin's the underdog in this one, so I think I don't think they're going to cover the spread. I don't think Maryland's going to cover the spread in this one. I think it's going to be pretty close.
Well, I might have to disagree with you. I'm going with Maryland. They're 3-0, and I just think maybe this might be their year. Wisconsin didn't look very good against Alabama, so.
Well, that can happen to a lot of people. But again, Maryland has played Towson, Northern Illinois, and Florida Atlantic.
Right. Yeah, I know they've been playing some nobodies, but.
Well, and this will be a good test for them. If they can beat Wisconsin, it'll be a good feather in the Terrapin's cap right there. But it remains to be seen, though. This is one of my upset specials of the week, so this is what I'm picking. I don't know what the other guys are going with. I know you're going with Maryland. William, John, what do you think?
Go for it, William.
I went back and forth on this, and I don't think Wisconsin's going to cover, but I think I'm going to pick Wisconsin.
Sounds good. I've got Wisconsin to win but not cover.
So y'all are all with me then, and Bill's the lone wolf out there with Maryland.
And we wonder why.
Well, I originally had Maryland, but I'm going to have to change to Wisconsin, I think. Is it too late to change?
No.
John can record that.
Yeah, not for me. It's not hard to change at all.
We'll hold everything up till kickoff because I got one of those picks that I have not made my mind up, and I'm gonna wait till kickoff, keep reading and research and see if I can figure it out. But there's one that's definitely got me where I don't know which to go with.
So, William, are you definitely going with Wisconsin?
Yeah, I'm definitely going with Wisconsin.
Go Maryland! Get them Terrapins.
Are they going to cover or not?
No, I don't think they're going to cover.
Okay.
That's what I said too, John.
Game.
Got it.
All right.
Thank you, Gary and William.
Let's move on to Florida Gators at the Miami Hurricanes. Miami by 7.5.
Well, this is an interesting game. Florida's got all kind of problems. They're 1-2. They've lost to LSU 20-10, South Florida 18-16, and they beat Long Island University, whoever the heck that is, 55-0. Talk about playing somebody to get a paycheck. That's about as low as you can go. The play calling is suspect, and they're undisciplined. At least this is what the experts say. Billy Napier is on the hot seat, under fire, and the assistant coach and associate head coach and running backs coach is been suspended for 3 games because of his actions before the LSU game. Apparently, he got into kind of a fight or something or another with the LSU players. So that's something there that's a problem. And it's kind of a systemic thing going along with them. Jabbar Julu is the coach's name. But DJ Lagway, the quarterback, was supposed to have a better year than what he's doing. He had 5 interceptions against LSU. 5. It's hard to do that, but he did it. He's been very inconsistent, and I think you need to take Miami and the 7.5 points. Miami is ranked 4th in the AP poll and 2nd in the coaches poll, I think, which is pretty high. After a 49-12 win over South Florida, who's pretty good. Carson Beck, the Georgia quarterback transfer, leads the 3-0 Hurricanes, who are considered one of the top teams in college football and have been a powerhouse before, winning multiple national titles. They won 5 national titles previously. Of course, that was not under Mario Cristobal. It was under several other coaches who we all know. But the Carson Beck has done a tremendous job here with the offense from Miami. And the 6'4", 220-pound former Georgia quarterback has 812 yards passing. He's 68 of 82 for 79% and 7 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. He has an 89.9 QBR, quarterback rating. Look for Miami to win this one and cover the 7.5 points.
I'm hearing Heisman stuff about Beck now. Is this way too early for that?
Well,
No, I don't think so.
according to his completion rate, that's pretty darn good. So, you got to look at it that way. And he's a good quarterback. Problem last year was the fact that Georgia dropped him. We led the country in drops. And that's not Carson's fault. Do we all like him? Do we think he's a particularly great guy? Well, that's a different story. But, I don't dislike him, and I don't wish him bad while he's at Miami. I hope he does well. But, it feels kind of stinky.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it, William.
You kind of look at him as a traitor leaving the University of Georgia like that, high and dry. But you just have to go with Gunnar Stockton and Puglisi.
And I tell you what, I don't care if he wins the Heisman, and if he does, more power to him. But I'm much happier having Gunnar as our quarterback. I like a running quarterback.
Well, that's a prototypical college quarterback, and Beck's more of a drop back passer. He can run when he feels like it, but that's not his thing. But Gunnar can just tuck and run when he wants to.
It's like having an extra running back, and that's what I like about it. John, what's your thoughts?
I've got Miami to win and cover the spread, and I'm happy we've got Gunnar Stockton and Ryan Puglisi too. I mean, I think, holy cow, you're not going to do better than that.
Well, I've got Miami and to cover, if I'm remembering right.
Me too. I think that's all 4 of us.
Yeah, I think you'd be crazy to do anything else.
Yeah. I think it's going to be lopsided.
But Florida's dangerous. They got athletes out the wazoo. They just have poor coaching and are undisciplined. If they decide to pull it all together and play for each other, they can be very dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Hell, they've got the athletes. There ain't no doubt about that.
I was watching Billy Napier, his interview post-game, and he thinks that they are that close to fixing what's going on there. And I don't share his sentiment. I think they have a lot of things they got to fix.
I think if he doesn't get 7 wins, he's done. And I don't think they're going to get 7 wins.
If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas too, wouldn't we?
Arkansas.
Oldie but a goodie, Gary.
At Memphis, Arkansas by 7.5.
So ESPN Analytics gives Arkansas a 60% chance of winning. Arkansas's coach is, of course, Sam Pittman. William told us last week that he is the former assistant head coach and line coach for the Georgia Bulldogs. Memphis is coached by Ryan Silverfield. The game is on Saturday at 12 noon on ABC. Arkansas comes in at 24 in the College Football Power Index. Memphis is down at 36. Arkansas quarterback Taylon Green will lead the Razorbacks against the Memphis Tigers. He's a threat to run and throw, and the Arkansas offense is just too much for Memphis. Plus, it's an SEC team versus an American Conference team. They just don't match up well. I think that Arkansas wins but does not cover.
Well, I'm definitely going for Arkansas on this one because they came real close to Ole Miss last weekend. So they've got a decent ball club. And I think they'll cover too.
Yeah, I think they'll cover. I think they got something to prove, maybe a little bit. And when somebody's got something to prove and they get a chance to score, watch them score.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
So I
Arkansas
think they cover.
covered. Arkansas.
All right, you made a believer out of me. If we're changing, if we're allowing for updates, then I think they will cover too.
All right.
There we go.
The funny thing about that spread is they have to beat Memphis by more than one touchdown, which they can do. They've scored 50 points 2 times this season, Arkansas has. So that's a pretty safe bet.
And they put a pretty large number up on Ole Miss last week, too.
Yeah, they did. It was
38.
Let's see. Oh, that's this week. Let's go back to last
I think
week.
it's like 38 to 40 something, or 40 something to 40 something. I know they put over 35 points on Ole Miss.
It was close. Seemed like if Arkansas could have scored right there towards the end, they were taking the lead. But
it was close. Arkansas scored 35 points. Ole Miss won 41 to 35.
So if they
that's
put
what I was
41
thinking.
on
The touchdown would
Ole
have won.
Miss, if they put 35 on Ole Miss, I believe they can put 60 on Memphis. And
You never know.
Texas Tech at number 17, Texas Tech at number 16, Utah. And they've got Utah by 3.5. This is the battle of the unbeaten so far this year. Beharan Morton, quarterback for the Red Raiders of Texas Tech, has been averaging close to 20 throws a game with 923 yards and a 70.4 completion rate with 11 TDs. His leading receiver, Corey Eakin, a wide receiver with 245 yards and 3 TDs. So they like to throw. But on the other hand, they have 384 yards rushing with running backs Cameron Dickey and Adam Hill, which produced 4 TDs so far. So they can run. But they haven't had much competition with 3 blowout performances. On the other hand, Utah has had better competition, blowing out UCLA, Cal Poly, and Wyoming. Utah quarterback Devin Dampier has thrown for 628 yards with a 73% completion rate and 7 TDs. And he is the leading rusher with 33 carries for 198 yards and 1 TD. So he can run. You got to be watching for that. Running back Wayshawn Parker and Nakuri Rogers have combined a total of 344 yards and 6 TDs. The leading receiver, Ryan Davis, has 19 receptions for 171 yards and 9 yards per catch with 1 TD. Utah is known for defense, and I believe that Dampier will run wild on Texas Tech and will cover the spread, which at this point is 3.5. The show starts at noon on the Fox Network.
Well, it's a battle of ranked team, but I think with Utah at home, I think they win and they cover.
Definitely.
Might be pretty good.
This is an upset special. You can pick Texas Tech and feel pretty good about it, I think. But I'm going with Utah in the cover, too.
I think the same. I think they're going to cover easily. And I think home field advantage is really important to Utah for some reason. I mean, it's important for everybody, but for them, it seems to be extra important.
Mm-hmm.
At any rate,
We'll see how the Utes
Bill,
do.
did you say Utah was gonna cover or not?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
They will say that.
Nebraska Michigan. My brain just quit working for a second. Michigan at Nebraska. Michigan by 2.5.
All right. Now, this is an interesting one here. This is probably what a lot of people are expecting to be the marquee matchup of the weekend. Two very well-known football schools and going head-to-head, and they both seem to be off to fairly similar starts. Michigan's 2-1. They beat the crap out of Central Michigan by 63-3. Then they had a loss at Oklahoma, 24-13. Then they beat New Mexico 34-17. Interestingly enough, and you guys may remember this, Sharon Moore is suspended for this game as part of his punishment for sign stealing. It was a big scandal. And they want him to be suspended for one more game sometime in next season. They're kind of fighting that right now, so we'll wait and see that. But he's definitely out for this one. Biff Fuji, who is no stranger to the Michigan program, will be acting as the stand-in head coach for this one. Michigan has got Bryce Underwood, who's got 628 yards passing already, a couple of touchdowns, only one pick. Running back Justin Haynes has got 388 yards on the ground, and the receiver Donovan McCulley has got 158 yards receiving. Now, on the other side, you've got Matt Rule and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. They are 3-0. They edged out Cincinnati. Well, a little bit more than an edge, but not a blowout. 28-17 was that final. Then they crushed Akron 68-0 and HCU 59-7. So they are 3-0. And we all knew that Dylan Roll out of Buford. He was going to go to Georgia, then changed his mind. He's already got 829 yards passing. Running back Emmett Johnson, 326 yards on the ground, and one of their key receivers, Dane Key, 190 yards receiving. This is an interesting one, as we said, and Michigan is playing at Nebraska. I'm still going to go with Michigan, and this is sort of a pick 'em here. I'm not sure. I think they win, and if they cover, it's going to be by a fraction. This one might go down to who's got the ball last, and it might depend on the field goal. So I'm going to go ahead and say Michigan wins, and since they're only 2.5, I'll say they'll cover that. I think this one may come down to a field goal. So my pick is Michigan, and they cover, but not by much.
Well, I'm going for Nebraska. I like that coach. He came from Cincinnati, where he did a great job there, and I think he's had enough time to get Nebraska where they're going up. There's no doubt about that, and they're getting better. Have been getting better every year he's been there, and I think this might be their breakout year, and this may be their breakout game. I'm gonna pick the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And they're playing them in Nebraska, which makes a difference, no doubt. And so I don't have to worry about who's covered or not.
Yeah, this is going to be a really close game.
One other thing I wanted to mention. I'm sorry, John, didn't mean to cut you
Go
off.
for it. Yeah.
I watched the Michigan-Oklahoma game, and I was not impressed by Michigan. They're a good football team. They're not even close to great. I think they've dropped a couple levels. I think Ohio State's going to beat the crap out of them this year. Go ahead.
Well, the thing is, they might be playing for the coach since he's not there, but that might affect it the other way. It's hard to say what's going to happen with these young men who are a little bit more than boys, maybe not quite men yet in some of their cases, but it's hard to know what they're going to do. I'm going to stick with my original pick, though. I'm Michigan, and I think they cover by just a fraction, as I said.
Well, I've got Nebraska, and we have a comment here from Alex, who he's got Nebraska by 6 points. So thank you, Alex.
Well, hold on there, little fella. I got to go with Michigan. Michigan's got Justice Haynes, who is the son of Ron Haynes, who was a running back at Georgia. Actually, he was a fullback. But Justice Haynes went to Buford just like Raiola did. They were teammates. So that's two local boys playing in this game.
Yeah, and I said he's already got 388 yards rushing.
Yeah, if Michigan wins, they'll certainly cover the 2.5. So I'm going with Michigan. It's not an upset, but Michigan.
Michigan it is for William. And Gary and John and I are going for Nebraska.
Well, there you go.
Illinois, number 9, Illinois, at number 19, Indiana. They got Indiana by 5.5.
Yeah, strange. They got a number 19 team playing a number 9 team, and the 19 team is favored by 5.5. Illinois is ranked 9 this week and is 3-0 under head coach Brett Bielema. Tongue-tied there for a minute. It's their highest ranking since 2001. Oh, they had a big win over Duke 2 weeks ago. Of course, I don't know if that's a big win or not to anybody else, but that's a big win to them. The defense is the key to the Illini, and they're projected to have one of the best defenses in the Big Ten. They finished ranked number 16 in last year's poll and are looking for bigger things this year. They've beaten Western Illinois 52-3, Duke 45-19, and Western Michigan 38-0. Not exactly powerhouses they're playing, but still they won the game. Quarterback Luke Altmaier, who played last year and won a game against South Carolina in a bowl game, that Citrus Bowl, I believe. They've experience at running back with Aiden Lafferty and Caden Fagan. The Illini are 5.5 point favorites over Indiana, who is ranked 19th and is 3-0 this year. They have high expectations under Coach Kurt Signetti after last year's historic season. Despite losing last year's quarterback, Indiana has transfer Fernando Mendoza, running backs Keaton Bigway, and Lee Beal Jr. The Hoosiers are averaging 547.5 yards a game, which is pretty good. That's a lot better than Georgia's averaging. Quarterback Mendoza is 53 of 76 for 708 yards and 73.4% percentage. Running back Beebe has 27 carries for 209 yards, while Keaton Black has 34 carries for 217 yards. Indiana's beaten Old Dominion 27-14, Kennesaw State 56-9, and Indiana State 73-0. Illinois will be a little bit different than these teams, but I'm still going with Indiana in an upset. I think it's an upset. Illinois should be the favorite. I don't know why they got Indiana favored. They ought to be ranked higher if they're favored. Indiana.
I agree. With the ranking idea.
I don't think they're going. I don't think they're going to cover. I think this one may be tighter than a touchdown.
Well, does anybody know what the top 3 linebackers to ever breathe on the planet that came from Illinois? Me being a linebacker in high school, I do know. He's one of my favorite players, and I modeled myself after him. That's how I like to be. Yes, the great awesomeness Dick Butkus, the best linebacker that ever played the game. And well, I'll say top 3. There's some others that are worthy of that title, but I got to go with it. But I'm picking Indiana. At least that's what I'm thinking I picked. That was the game that I was talking about that I have not made up my mind, and I may change it at the last minute. And I think, John, do I have Indiana to cover?
You picked Indiana, and you're about to tell us if they're going to cover the spread their way or not.
I say Indiana and not to cover. I think it's going to be a nail biter. It's going to be a win it by field goal.
Me too.
I am doing a real-time update. I picked Indiana also, but changing over to Illinois. Probably going to regret it. And they do not cover. Win, but don't cover.
Well, if you're picking Illinois, you don't have to worry
win. They
about
don't have to cover.
You don't have to worry about covering.
Yeah, you don't have to cover.
Yeah. Indiana's favored.
So the coverage does not matter.
Which makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
That does not make any sense. Unless they know something we don't know.
Yeah, that thought occurred to me too, Bill. Maybe there's something else going on, but nobody's ever cheated and gambled on college football, have they?
No. No. William, who you picking?
Indiana to cover.
Okay, so we got me and Gary, Indiana not covering, William, Indiana covering, and John, Illinois.
John may pick up a game here.
Yeah.
Or he could be behind me someday. At the bottom.
Don't hold your breath.
Number 22, Auburn. Doesn't that sound funny, saying a number in front of Auburn? Number 22, Auburn Tigers at number 11, Oklahoma. Oklahoma by 6.5.
Yeah, Oklahoma is on a roll right now. And ESPN Analytics gives Oklahoma a 65% chance of winning. I think it ought to be higher than that. This game starts at 3:30 on Saturday on ABC. The coaches are Hugh Freeze for Auburn and Brent Venables for Oklahoma. Oklahoma comes in at 13 in the CFB Power Index. Auburn is down at 20. It's a good matchup between quarterbacks Mateer and Arnold. We should see a good game offensively, but Oklahoma's defense is the difference. It's just too much for Auburn, especially with Oklahoma's home field advantage. I think Oklahoma wins and covers the spread.
Well, I don't like Hugh Freeze. I don't like Auburn, but they got a good quarterback. I watched him play some, and he's accurate throwing and he can run, and that makes your team different. Oklahoma's got that quarterback Meteor. He's got a rifle for an arm, and he can run as well. But, John, you're right. The defense makes the difference. Oklahoma's got a really good defense, and they're playing at Oklahoma. So I'm going to go with Oklahoma to cover.
Got it.
I think Oklahoma wins, but I'm not sure they cover. So put me down as a no for the cover. I think this one may be another tight game, 3-4 points.
All right.
I got Oklahoma and they cover. Oklahoma covers.
Nobody likes poor little old Auburn. Oh.
I like them, but not enough to beat Oklahoma.
I don't like them. I don't like them at all.
If they beat Oklahoma, then they're a legitimate team.
Yeah, it would legitimize them, no doubt. Tulane at number 13, Ole Miss. Tulane is unbeaten, but with all wins have been close, but with decent competition. Not great, but decent, beating Northwestern, South Alabama, and Duke. But it will be different kind of competition Saturday in Oxford, Mississippi at 3:30 p.m. Tulane, an American Conference team. And Tulane has a quarterback, Jake Retzlaff, who has thrown for 522 yards with a 59% completion rate and 2 TDs. He's also the leading ground gainer at 40 carries for 288 yards and 6 TDs. So he likes to run, which changes a lot of things. Their leading running back is Javon Gordon with 27 carries for 122 yards, his longest run being 22 yards. And their leading receiver is Amari Hayes with 13 receptions for 143 yards, having an 11-yard per catch average. Now, Ole Miss has been tested going 3-0 against Georgia State, not much of a test, and beating Kentucky and Arkansas both by 7 points or less. Quarterback Austin Simmons has 580 yards passing with a 60.7 completion rate and 4 TDs. And, this is a big and, he's added 69 yards rushing and 1 TD. So, once again, we got another running quarterback. Running back Keewan Lacey has produced 290 yards rushing with 5 TDs. And wide receiver Harrison Wallace III has 15 receptions for 339 yards and a TD. Tulane is a good ball club, but in the American Conference. Ole Miss is a good ball club, but in the SEC. Big difference. Ole Miss to win and cover.
I agree. Put me down for winning and covering for the Rebs.
Yeah, same here. Ole Miss wins and covers.
Poor little old Tulane. I'm in agreement. Ole Miss beats Tulane and covers the spread.
Enough on that then.
Uh-huh.
Temple at number 18, Georgia Tech. Tech by 23.5.
This is an interesting matchup, too. When's the last time Georgia and Georgia Tech were both ranked in the top 20? It's been a while. But ranked Georgia Tech is 3-0. Temple comes in at 2-1. They beat UMass 42-10. They beat Howard 55-7, but they lost to Oklahoma 42-3. Casey Keeler's their coach. He was hired in December of last year. He came from Sam Houston State. So he hasn't been on the job very long. So he hasn't got a lot of his people in place right now. Tech, on the other hand, has been, as Bill has said before, tested. Beat Colorado by 7. They crushed Gardner-Webb 59-12. And, of course, had that huge win over Clemson 24-21 where the Tech student body stormed the field, tore down the goalposts, carried them through the city, and all of that sort of thing. But they were probably glad to be able to do that. The coach, Brent Key, he has created a culture of winning at Georgia Tech, and now they're playing to win and not playing not to lose, if you know what I mean. they feel like they got a shot at any game that they play in. As long as quarterback Haynes King stays healthy, look out. They do have a shot. And talk about your running quarterback, Will. There you go. He's like a fullback who can also throw the ball when he has to. So Haynes King is sort of the straw that stirs that drink. But we've seen Aaron Philo out of Prince Avenue Christian comes in as his backup, so he's pretty good too. They got some talented transfers. They had good recruits. So Tech is on the roll right now. They think they can win. Some rushers besides King, Jamal Haynes, Malachi Mosley, and the defense gives up about 18 points a game, but they also score a lot. So I think Tech not only beats Temple, the Owls, but they cover the spread, even though it's a pretty good chunk of spread right there. So I'm picking Tech to win and to cover.
Well, I'm going to go with Tech as well, and to cover. And having Haynes King in there is a deciding difference for them. I mean, they probably could play with that other quarterback and probably could win some games, but with Haynes King, Tech can beat anybody, except maybe Georgia.
Well, don't forget lots of overtimes. Yeah, lots of overtimes last year, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. That was a long
record
game.
number of overtimes.
I'm going with Georgia Tech myself. And I hate to say it, but I think they'll cover the spread, but I'm kind of wishy-washy on it a little bit. Temple might give them a good game, and Tech may not beat them 23.5 points. That's a lot of points. That's 4 touchdowns.
That is a lot of points.
Yeah. I kind of waffled on that a little bit, but I think Tech's on a roll now, and they're going to get started. And when they get in there, they smell that end zone. They're going to get in it.
All right, you convinced me. Tech and covers.
John?
I've got Georgia Tech to cover. Yeah, I think they're actually, their ranking is wrong. They ought to be ranked higher. I think they're a better football team than 18. We'll see. There's a lot of football left to play.
A lot of football.
At first, I didn't think Tech would cover 24.5, but I'm gonna stick with what I said. I'll pick them to cover.
South Carolina at number 23, Missouri. They got Missouri by 10.5.
Well, South Carolina's 2-1 with wins over Virginia Tech. That's a pretty good victory, 24-6, 24-11, and South Carolina State 38-10. But they had a big loss to Vanderbilt, 31-7. And I picked Vanderbilt, but I didn't think it would be that big of a victory. This week's different though. It's Missouri, 7 p.m. at Missouri, and South Carolina's got a lot of making up to do to beat Missouri. They do have Lenore Sellers at quarterback with 431 yards, 29 of 45 passing attempts, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Luke Doty at running back has 18 carries for 20. It's passing. They got 2 quarterbacks, 18 passing, 28 for 148 yards, and both have identical 64% completion rates. Running back, is Rasul Faison, 27 carries for 135 yards and a touchdown. They don't have that good of statistics on offense, even though they beat some teams. So that's what worries me. I'm not sure they have a good enough offense to go against Missouri's defense, who is pretty good. Missouri's 3-0, obviously, like 8 other SEC teams with 3 wins. They won over Central Arkansas 61-6, Kansas 42-31, and Louisiana 52-10. Scoring has not been a problem this year for Missouri. In his 6 years, Eli Drinkowitz, who leads the Tigers, the 42-year-old coach has revolutionized the Missouri program. And the Missouri defense is the strength of the Tigers. That's what worries me, that South Carolina won't be able to score much with that defense. And on offense, quarterback Bo Pribula, who's a transfer from Penn State, leads the team and has propelled them this season. The offensive line is a plus for them too, and it opened up holes for talented running back Ahmad Hardy. They also have a bevy of good receivers like Marcus Johnson, Joshua Manning, and senior transfer threat Kevin Coleman. Coleman leads Missouri receiving with 24 receptions for 258 yards. And Hardy has 57 rushes for 402 yards. So they got some pretty good statistics. I guess I'm going to have to go with Missouri to cover. For South Carolina, I think they're going to find out that even Vanderbilt is better than them. And surely Missouri is better than Vanderbilt. I'll be shocked if they're not.
Well,
Missouri to cover.
One thing you didn't mention was Lenore Sellers, their quarterback for South Carolina, was knocked out in the first quarter of that Vanderbilt game. And I do believe if he'd have been there the whole time, it would have been a total different scenario. And I'm not going to make my pick until end of the week. I've made, as it stands right now, I've picked Missouri to cover. But if Sellers is playing, I'm going to change my pick, because I think he's that much of a difference maker. Last year, South Carolina lost him to an injury, and he was out 2 games, and he lost both games. And they came back in, and they won the rest of them for the season, including beating Clemson. So I'm going to hold off on that. I'm going to watch the wires, for nothing else, better way to put it. But I'm gonna wait. I've made a pick, but I'm gonna go change it. I will change it if Lenore Sellers is playing. I'm gonna pick South Carolina. But right now, I'm taking Missouri and to cover.
Okay.
That's
I
what
think
I've
even if Sellers comes back, he might not be full speed. So it may take him a game or so to get back into things. So right now, I go with Missouri and Missouri to cover.
That's what I've got, Bill. Missouri to cover also.
Well, it sounds like we're unanimous.
Well, you might get South Carolina if he plays.
Yeah,
And
right.
you're right, it might make a difference, but I still think Missouri's a good football team.
But Gary, you are correct, and you've made me double think my idea. The fact that with him coming back in from an injury, but the thing about it was, it's not leg, arm, or anything. It's his head. It was a concussion injury. He got whacked in the head, and they took him out and held him out because of his, for safety. And the concussion, whatever they call it, rules.
Protocol.
Protocol.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Concussion
and
protocol.
yeah, depends on how severe the concussion was too.
Yeah. I've had 3 or 4 of those.
Yeah.
We probably all did, and they just didn't worry about things like that back when we played.
Yeah.
How many quarterbacks you see out there, son? 3, Coach. All right, go back out there and hit the one in the middle. All right.
There you go. That was the way it was back in the day when it was tough man football. Purdue at number 24. Notre Dame with 25.5.
Can you believe that Notre Dame is ranked 24th?
No.
0-2.
0-2. Actually, I was just looking at that. Purdue has a better record than Notre Dame at this point. This game's on Saturday at 3:30 on NBC. ESPN Analytics, interestingly, gives Notre Dame a 93% chance of winning. The coaches are Purdue's Barry Odom and Marcus Freeman for Notre Dame. Notre Dame comes in at 14 in the college football power index. Purdue is way down at 79. I think that Notre Dame is feeling it. And what they're feeling is, we got to do something to fix whatever's going wrong. I would not have wanted to be on the practice field at Notre Dame this week, and I would not want to be the Purdue Boilermakers, when they arrive in South Bend, Indiana to play Notre Dame, because I think Notre Dame has got to and will come out with their hair on fire. I think we're going to see a different Notre Dame team. I don't think Marcus Freeman is going to let them continue to play the way they have been. I think he's got to change something, and he will. I think Notre Dame is going to win, but not cover. That is a whopper spread. That's a 4-touchdown spread.
I agree with you, John, and for a number of other things too. They're going to be on NBC, as you said, the Notre Dame Broadcasting Company, and this is a really old series between these two. And if you're Notre Dame, everybody gives you their best shot. I think they're going to win, but I think Purdue's going to be fired up enough playing there, and all that history and all that stuff. I don't think Notre Dame covers. I don't think they're going to outscore them by 26 points. I think they win, but I don't think they cover.
I'll agree. Notre Dame not covering.
No, Notre Dame's going to cover. They've been beat by good football teams. They've had a little bad luck, and they're going to be fiery mad, and they're going to beat the stew out of Purdue. They're going to beat them by 4 touchdowns anyway, and that's 28 points.
Wow.
So Notre Dame to cover.
All right.
John?
Well, I said Notre Dame, but they will not cover.
Will not cover.
So we got 3 not covers and 1 cover.
That's right.
But we all say Notre Dame's going to win.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Syracuse at Clemson. Let me say this right out of the gate. Clemson has been a big disappointment. Ranked in the top 5 in the beginning of the season, and now 1-2. They better be happy about that win against Troy, too, because Troy had them. They weren't even close at halftime. But they pulled that one out. I believe that they can run the rest of the season still making the playoffs, but we will see. Syracuse comes into Death Valley at noon on Saturday with a 2-1 record. They opened the season with a loss to Tennessee, but rebounded with 2 wins in a row against inferior foes, though, Connecticut and Colgate. Quarterback Steve Angeli has thrown for 1,072 yards in just 3 games, with 64% completion rate and 8 TDs. But he has been sacked 8 times, that's a pretty large number for this early in the season. Running back Yassine Willis has 34 carries for 139 yards and has 4 TDs. Their leading receiver, wide receiver Darrell Gill, has 12 catches for 269 yards and 2 TDs. But they have a tight end, Dan Villari, with 16 receptions for 199 yards. So he's got options on his targets. As we know, their head coach, Fran Brown, came from Georgia, where he was a defensive back coach, and took a couple Georgia players with him. Clemson coach Dabo Swinney has told the Clemson faithful that he is not going anywhere if they don't want him to send him back down the road. It takes some moxie to say that to the whole world to hear, but that's Dabo. You got to love him. Clemson comes in 1-2. Not a very good start. losing to two very good teams, LSU and Georgia Tech. And like I said, barely getting by Troy, who had them behind at the half. Now, Heisman hopeful Cade Klubnik, listen to these statistics, has 633 yards passing with 3 TDs. That's 3 games. And has a 37.5 QBR. That's awful.
Yeah, I don't think you should say Heisman and Cade Klubnik in the same sentence, Bill.
No, not at all. Running back Adam Randall, who was converted from a defensive back and thought to be the answer, has 208 yards rushing. Okay, but not what they need. Wide receiver Brian Wesco Jr. has 18 receptions for 310 yards and 3 TDs. Not bad. They got a great receiver. I mean, there's no doubt about that talent, and that was expected. But I'm thinking more was expected out of the receiver corps. Clemson needs to figure it out quickly, or it's going to be a long offseason. Clemson for the win, but not to cover.
I agree with you. I think they win, but I don't think they cover. I think it might be a shootout.
I'm not even sure they win, but I picked them. I think Dabo would, about like Marcus Freeman, he probably had a gut check this week. But I don't think they cover either. I think Syracuse is good enough to hold them to at least 2 touchdowns. So about a 14-point victory for Clemson, not 17 and a half.
I feel the same way. I've got Clemson to win, but not cover the spread.
Well, Klubnik with a 37.5 quarterback rating, that gives you an idea how he's playing. And he was their Heisman hopeful coming into the season. They were ranked number 3 or number 4 in the preseason rankings. They're supposed to have 2 outstanding receivers. They've got 1. Their line has not been there for them. Klubnik's been running for his life most of the game. Their defensive line has been average, and they were supposed to be exceptional. So that gives you reasons why they're 1-2.
Plus playing some pretty good teams.
Tech and LSU are top 10 teams in the country, no doubt about that. I agree with the fact that they shouldn't be ranked 18th. I think Tech should be ranked a lot lower than that.
Not higher.
A lot higher. You're right. All right. There's a preamble to our picks last week. William went 11 for 12 for 92%. Gary, 10 for 12 for 83%. John, 10 for 12 for 83%. And me at the bottom again at 9 for 12 at 75%. Once again, you guys are making the easy picks, and I'm taking the chances. Congratulations, William, to a great, that's 11 out of 12 is really good. Congratulations on that.
Which one did you miss, William?
South Florida and
Miami,
I think.
Yeah. That was it.
I picked South Florida.
I missed that one too.
I thought South Florida was pretty good, and I didn't think that much of Miami, but now I think Miami's pretty darn good. I don't want to play them.
And for the season, William is at 84% leading the pack. Way to go, William. Gary's right behind him at 82%. John's at 79%, and I am at the bottom, and I don't even have an average score anymore. But long season, I'm just luring you into my trap, and then I'll pounce on you and start winning a couple weeks in a row, and then I'll be back up with you.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, that's it.
He got us in his web now, guys.
John, on the spread, what do you got on that? Tell us where we're at. We're instituting the spread. We haven't done it before, and we're trying to figure out a way we can portray it and show it and whatnot graphically. And right now we're working it in. We got a few other surprises we're gonna put out. But John?
Well, I've been recording everybody's choices each game for the winner and do they beat the spread or not. And what I need to do is go back and compare those results to the actual spread. Did the spread hold up, or did our pick against, how did our pick against the spread do? That's what we're interested in. We want to see, what our results were. Did they cover or not cover? The problem is there's a lot of work that goes into that. And so I've got, like I said, I have everybody's spread picks, cover or not cover, for the last 2 weeks. But the real work is in going back and looking at, comparing that to the results. So we can say William's picks were right, or Bill's picks were right, or John's picks were not right. And so we're a week away. All that to say, we're a week away, and I'll be able to show you how we do against the spread. When we say Clemson, but they won't cover, how does that compare to the actual spread?
John is our technical expert when it comes to computers and all that kind of stuff, and we appreciate the work he does on behalf of Intelligent Ramblings.
Yep.
And we're going to take a quick commercial, and then we'll be back with our summary real quick. All right. We are back, and it's been a good week.
You wonder why we didn't pick Georgia or Alabama this week. Well, they both took a week off to play each other next week.
Yeah.
So no Georgia or Alabama picks.
But if you
like 3 or 4 teams out of the top 10 that had a bye week this week.
If you want to follow up on our webcast, go to our website at intelligentramblings.com. That way you can see all our picks as we do it. It's all published there for everybody to see, so we're not making it up as we go. And also, if you don't mind, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@intelligentramblings. Kind of hard not to figure it out. And also, if you would like to contact us, you can contact us at intelligentramblings@gmail.com. That's intelligentramblings@gmail.com.
Look across the bottom of your screen.
I'll let it run. That way, if you can write it down real fast.
Well, before we leave, congratulations to Bill's father, the late Jim Lofton, getting inducted into the North Hall Sports Hall of Fame this coming Friday night. We all played for Coach Lofton, not at North Hall, but at Jefferson. But great influence on the lives of all of us, of course. And well-deserved to be into the North Hall of Fame. I suspect he might wind up being in the East Hall of Fame and the Jefferson Hall of Fame if they ever get around to establishing those.
No doubt. Well, thank you, Gary, for bringing that up.
And the GAC Hall of Fame.
I'm proud to be a Lofton. No doubt about
There
that.
you go. All right, guys. Well, another good show, and let's see how we pick them this weekend.
And enjoy your weekend off, dogs, and we'll expect you to be whooping up on Alabama next weekend.
Right.
That is going to be good.
All right, folks. Good night. Have a good night,
everybody.
Good night, and thank you for if you're listening to us after we are not live. We appreciate it, and we'll look forward to seeing y'all next week.